So I developed a very simple application using the Joomla that I installed in tutorial 1 using an application called Community Builder, as I have described. I made a baseline of that application in my application Git repositories. So you can see here an application repository called Community Builder for the database, and another one called Community Builder for the web root. So those are the baseline application codes that I'm going to install using the toolkit. So the basic workflow is you install a vanilla Joomla application, you generate an application or do application development using Joomla, such as installing extensions, plugins, templates and so on. Then when you're happy, you make a baseline of it as I've described, and then from that third parties can deploy your public repositories, because these are public there, so you have to make sure that they have no sensitive credentials stored within them left over from your application development for security reasons, and then the third-party developer or application user can deploy from your baseline that you've created as an application developer. This means that the very best developers can develop the applications, and other Joomla users can benefit from application reuse. So if I go to my command prompt on my build machine, I can see that I want to use template 2 this time, because template 2 is what builds baselined applications. So if I go into my templates directory and Exoscale, then this is my template that I'm going to be deploying this time. I've prepared it as I've described, with the different security parameters set, as well as the values for the baseline repositories and so on. So if I just do a quick head command on that file, you can see that within this it's set to deploy a baseline called communitybuilder.db baseline, and similarly for the web root. So those will be what it's deploying. So if we go back to the root of the Agile Deployment Toolkit, then we can look back to our Exoscale console and see that there's only the build machine running. There's no web servers or databases running, so absolutely nothing is prepared in terms of having a live application at the moment. So I just need to run the Expedited Deployment Toolkit script, which is that one, and I can pick Ubuntu this time. We picked Debian last time, so let's pick Ubuntu this time, and we'll deploy to Exoscale. Make a note of the password for your build machine backups. Give it a build identifier. Now this is template 1, so it gives you options of templates. So we're not interested in that, because that's what we use for the Virgin installs. So we just press enter here, we don't give it a number. This now is template 2, you can see there, template RD template 2. It gives us this description of it, which we can read if we're not sure what's happening. And then to accept that template, we enter 2, as you can see there, and press the enter key, and it says you have selected template 2. So that tells us that we will be deploying from a baseline. I won't set any SMTP credentials. I don't want to see how the environment's set, because it's got all my sensitive values for Exoscale in there. and then we just have to wait a second or two whilst it warms up. And that then begins the build process. So if I look back on my Exoscale console again, I should see a web server machine appear here in due course. And there it is. That means it's starting to build the web server. So I need to give that about 15 minutes and then the build will be complete. So I won't leave the video running for all that time, and I'll get back to you once the build is complete. Thank you. So as you can see, the build process has completed. It took 15 minutes to complete, and the URL that the website will be available at is displayed there according to how we've configured it. You can see all the output of the build process there, right the way back to the start where we paused the video previously. So if I go to my web browser, and I can put that URL into my web browser, and I find my customized application that has been built from the baseline for us. So if I just put my username and password in here, that will grant me access to the website. So all that I did to generate this was to take my vanilla Joomla installation from the previous tutorial, install the Community Builder extension onto it, activate the menu system, and make a baseline of it. And that's then a customized application. So if I click the profile picture, I can see my profile within Community Builder and so on. This is just a very, very simple illustration of what you can do with baselined applications. You can spend perhaps weeks developing an application, then make a baseline of it that a third-party person can deploy in 15 minutes and then use. So that's the whole purpose of this toolkit, is to make it possible to deploy ready-made applications into the cloud in a consistent way. Thanks for listening.